aboard the Citlalique. I knew I should expect another private visit. This time, I wasn't wrong. The same individual that approached me a few hours earlier had returned, and this time Besides, at that point... You have nowhere to go!
Are you sure about that?
Hey, Freshwater, open your eyes.
Ew, what?
Rise and shine, little...
So, it all happened for real, and...
Or are we both dead and this is heaven? Now, if we're finished with the small talk, I have a Slavic witness rambling in an unintelligible language about two men beating each other up on a... I am forced to deduce by the circumstance.
It was a true and proper assault, old man. I was riding around on my green dart.
Don't bullshit me, Bundy. I know if I let you do what you want, it's only because of...
You're not the first one to...
But I'll be the last. I took the Mulsberg case is hiding more than it seemed in the beginning. I can agree with you on that. You have concealed evidence from the authorities. You scared potential witnesses to death.
Alice has nothing to do with this mess. She didn't even...
It's too late now. Alice Sharp was suspended from her already precarious duties, and for that she'll have to thank a man who could have helped make... Goodbye, Bundy. In the end, you...
It was a tough blow. I had nothing to lose in that whole story. But Alice... I destroyed a dream, going home to rest on a real bed.
Lars!
Wait, how'd you get...
By the door. You're not used to locking the door with...
I know this might seem like a maniacal habit, but the key to this door... Alice,
I agree. Or else you could get me out of the situation you've gotten me into, rather than wait...
We just have to give it a...
You have to face... Let's admit it.
What happens is that you'll go your way, and I'll go mine. And maybe we'll catch up once a year to wish each other...
What happens is that we roll up our sleeves...
You'll find a good workplace, despite everything. Maybe not...
Lars? Did you...
Then kids will come, sweet... Oh, wait a minute, are you serious?
Never been more serious. I heard what happened tonight. If Rodwed came for you in person, it's because deep down he can...
Did you know I was able to beat him like an omelet against...
Did it happen?
There's something wrong. I saw him age... No snarky...
Having reached this stage, I am ready to accept pretty much any...
Yeah, only that lunatic from Weird Cases believe...
This individual, and also the doctor.
I can't rule it out for sure, but couldn't you do some research about it anyway?
There was no need to ask.
I should find out what that strange but I'd say that's the top priority.
Then I'll wait for your progress. From now on, we'll use your house as our headquarters.
Fine by me.
Don't expect me to clean it, though.
No matter how hard I tried, Out from behind a desk? Although the... I would not be able to reach that little object even if I stretched to... I'd need some sort of... Now it was with... And there was the little object I had glimpsed the night before. Radwood's cell phone. Lost. I wasn't competent enough to pull any precious info. Hey,
How's it going?
let's bring the investigation. Hey,
How's it going?
I recovered the.
Tell me you were spot on and that we had.
You better.
Seriously? So
Taking all those blows. Since when?
since I've been hanging out with.
Can you get anything from it?
I can't. I just have to open the tracking software.
Well, let's be clear, though. He took the most of the beating.
Okay, I'll launch. Now I'll connect the smartphone to the laptop and wait for the readout of the results.
So now we will be able to track.
We should be, but the tracker wasn't able to find enough data from the phone. Do you see the area that appeared on the map? It indicates the place where Rodwed's phone seems to have.
Oh, too vast to identify the precise spot. Tell me you still have one more trick up your sleeve.
I could try to monitor the incoming signal. If we can obtain at least 3 readings, we could triangulate the signal's directions and find the. Here's the first signal. Judging by the reference radio tower, the call must have originated from the old factory building.
Mama did mention she had called Radwed. Now that.
And here's another signal, this time closer to the coast. Any ideas?
Probably the harbor office contacting Radwed after accepting his bribe. Maybe.
It all fits. And I guess I have access to a third signal. 1 minute and... Oh no, that's not good.
Yeah, the fact that the icon is sizzling and dancing all around is.
Not at all. The signal comes from a radio tower near the Molesburg mansion. I guess they installed some kind of shielding device specific.
All right, I'm on it. Just tell me what I have to do.
Take this device for start. Once you get to the Molesburg residence, use it to track the source of the disturbance.
What should I look for?
A telephone jammer. That is to say, a little device equipped. When you find it, put this tracker on top. It is also programmed. Once it is taken out of the equation.
No sooner said than done. I'll be back here in. The signal didn't point exactly towards the house, but to the garden. I had to figure out where they stuck this. I was able to cross the garden without being noticed by anyone. Following the I found the device behind one of those stacked crates. Following Alice's. Then Alice would be.
Did I really need to do that, Mama dear?
Sure you did, idiot. Didn't you see that?
If you say so.
Don't hold a grudge on me now. We fought.
Come out of there, Stallone!
Not in the garbage, you idiot! He must be in the shed. Now be quiet and let's wait for him to come out.
Trapped again. Mom and Eugene to get out of that shed, I would have to devise one of my genius. That fridge was emptier than mine. I just found a honey pot that could be useful. Grope a statue made of grass. Why not? Why not? Mama had a gun. I wasn't sure that facing them directly was the wisest choice, but in the absence. Maybe that opening would give me a tactical advantage. In that moment, it was a... I could have used the crates to bear. Then I saw the opening above the door. I could build a ladder using what I found in the shed, and the box seemed like something. But for the base, I need something. The toilet could have been useful, but it was secured with screws. Investigator, cook, tightrope walker, and now also... I never thought I'd say something like this, but the... Well, now the shed had a comfortable floor. Another step in build...
How
long do we have to stay here, Mama?
All the time we need, you redneck.
Can we go now?
No!
Poor animal had been put to rest forever. I found the power of persuasion that woman had over you. Overwhelm
And
him with
now?
my bare hands?
No!
Sure. I couldn't do anything from up there.
And now?
No!
The bees seemed bothered by my gesture. The bees seemed bothered by my gesture. Throwing pebbles wouldn't have been enough. The bees seemed bothered. In that moment,
Can we go now?
No!
I'd have attracted them towards me. Could they be useful to me to get up?
And now?
No!
Sometimes, could they be useful? I thought it was better to look.
And now?
Could they be useful?
No!
Was it really? I thought it was better. Could they be useful? Was it really worth it?
Can we go now?
No!
Mama, it started raining.
Don't talk Can't you see there's not even a cloud?
But
Mama! Mama!
Eugene, you idiot! Get back here immediately!
Two 0 for me, Mama. I knew that wouldn't be the last meeting with the two henchmen. But then I saw Bobby on the ground. Eugene. It was a great relief to have him back in my. It was high time to beat it. Who knows what they hope to find in there except dust, spider. Then at the bottom of the box. Ramos had left behind traditional poetry for a more. For the moment, I didn't consider him a threat. Law enforcement was chasing him, but I just. Luckily, that destroyed frame recalled bad memories. Hey,
How's it going?
the device is gone. I'd like to specify that I risked my life once again.
Perfect. We should have what we need to continue with our... There. Now we have all 3 signals we'll use for tracking.
And how do we proceed now?
Do you see the light trails? They show the direction of the outgoing calls from the radio towers. I just have to select the radio tower to manipulate.
But how will you know when you've set them the right way?
The signals will become more defined once they're arranged in their... And once all 3 are done, we'll have the general...
Hey, I actually under...
Now let me work. I'd be out of the area of interest. 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 Lars, come here. I think I got it. The signals seem well defined. These are the exact directions of the phone calls. If we consider only the area where the 3 signals overlap and narrow it down to the circular area we're inspecting,
We obtained a site in the Everglades. That would make sense.
In that vicinity, there only seems to be an old, unused building.
We found it. This is the place. We have to go. Now.
Hold on. You always go and charge in without a plan. We must be extra cautious and... In the meantime, we will formulate a safe approach plan.
I'm not entirely convinced, but...
Perfect. At this point,
Be my guest. On the other hand, I can see that you and the sofa are meant...
You're really the last of the night.
What would happen to Catherine Molsberg if I didn't make my move in time? And besides, those were the questions that kept... The answers to those same questions finally helped me to... I was going to be alone. I reached the place in the middle of the night. I had to leave Green Dart a few hundred feet away because of the lonely wooden building arose in the desolate Everglades landscape. There was no light that hinted of a human presence, but I was sure I was in... I needed to arm myself. Alligators. The Everglades were haunted by those. The single blow, I had lost my source of light. Oh, to hell with me. The structure was dark and silent. The frame was hopelessly blocked, and the only room to maneuver was through the crack that remained ajar. Even with the closed stick, the handle remained out of reach. The frame was... The hatch was locked, probably by a latch on the inner side. Obviously, the door... I couldn't reach it. With that, I could reach the latch keeping the hatch closed. The lower hatch of the door was open. The hatch was designed for a small animal, not a human, so I could never squeeze through it. The hatch was designed... The hatch was designed... Obviously, the door was closed. The hatch was designed for a small animal, not a human, so... The hatch was designed for a small animal. The hatch was... I thought it was better to look for another solution. I could see the key inserted in the keyhole. The trick of the key dropping on a newspaper and then slipping it under the door, but I had another idea in mind. I'd broken my very useful antenna, but at least I was able... The trick had worked to perfection. The shed was completely empty, with the exception of an abandoned envelope on the table. With a trembling hand, I couldn't believe what I saw. Me, climbing the wall. So somebody had been spying on me since the beginning. The bowling night with Alice. I'd exposed that girl beyond all... The interrogation of Duke Ravendit. So they knew I was looking for the Citlalique. Just as I thought, the daring escape from the Citlalique. Those fanatics have been following my move.
Look what we have here. I prepared a little show for you, Detective. Now relax and let me work.
You.
Not another step, Detective, where I might lose control of this old, trembling hand and make a fine mess. Hands in the air and no tricks.
If you so much as touch her...
For goodness sake, Bundy, do what he tells you.
Wise suggestion, Eric. We don't want this innocent creature to suffer any premature pain.
For the love of God, let my
First, you give me your daughter, and now you pretend to play the role of the thoughtful
The kidnapping. The kidnapping. Mosberg had promised not only Catherine, but also the baby.
But it seems that the word of a businessman carries...
I was blinded. All the power you promised me isn't worth the
Eric. This knife,
This is really the end of the road? At least I want to...
This is not a pathetic theatrical performance with a happy end.
I've been watching you, so I know you didn't warn anybody because this is what you're used to do, isn't it? Follow ahead of family, leaving it behind in the name ahead of the few friends.
I fulfill the emptiness of your existence. That's why you can only watch. So now, if you don't...
No!
Hold it right there. Keep your hands up where I can see them.
Like this?
What the hell was that?
Where did he go?
The window! Quick! Catherine Malsberg was rushed to the hospital, while the Everglades were scoured from the ground up by Radwed, and the baby had disappeared without a... Too many questions were left unanswered. How had Radwed gained this mysterious... Only one thing I was sure of. I had failed. I stayed out late that night. I didn't have the guts to face Alice. If she hadn't warned... Radwed had tracked all my movements. Every bit of progress I thought I underestimated my enemy. I couldn't keep deluding myself like that. Dropped my last line of...
Lars. We can't let this thing stop us. We just need...
I just need to go to bed and forget about everything.
That's it? Is this how you built your fame? By leaving things half done?
I have no energy left.
I don't believe you. Not after what I've seen.
Listen to me.
You walked on unstable ledges. You twice broke into the den of murderers you were after.
Alice.
You risked it all to save that girl. And now...
I'm dying of cancer! What? You run out of words? Didn't your kinetic superpower see that coming? I know what you're thinking. You're thinking it'd take tremendous effort to hide such a disease. And you're right. And yet it's far worse than you think. Having to pretend every minute in front of others. In front of your boss, your colleagues, your neighbors, the supermarket cashier. Having to look confident, brilliant, unshakable, invincible. Yeah, I lied. I created such a well-orchestrated charade that I ended up believing it myself. I lied because I didn't want to suffer the look on your face right now. Concern, sympathy, pity. I don't want anyone looking at me like that. Not once. I was the best at what I did. I was the detective who flushed out all the cruelest and smartest criminals on the East Coast. And I need to be that guy again, even if my body betrays me and stabbing pains pierce my mind. I was hoping this case would be the last blaze of glory for Lazarus Bundy, but maybe it's beyond my reach. I can't face all of this, Alice. Not in this condition. I can't stop them. The masquerade is over.